This is going to be a love reading for Cancer. What we see from the cards is someone who, regardless how hard they try, they cannot really ever completely let go of you or let go of the memory of you. And with the first card, we can actually immediately see that energy all around this person. In fact, we have the Four of Pentacles. And with the Four of Pentacles, we see an image of someone that cannot let go of something. As you see right here, this person is holding to that Pentacles as though their life depended on it. And in a way, they really think that it does. As usual, the 4, it's a number that reflects stability. And they know that the moment where they will actually let go of that pentacle, they might have to reconsider everything into their life, from not only their future, but also in general, the past. And so what this is telling us is that they are being very stubborn as well regarding how things went in the past. We see here, in fact, that you probably had to deal with someone who was very hard to communicate with, very hard to make them understand things that to you instead were pretty simple and pretty straightforward. And that same pattern, that same behavior that they had back then is actually with them still now, but just applied to different things. And these things that we see now are definitely that they cannot let go of the idea of being with you, if not today, at least sometimes into the future. They see you as their treasure, and they definitely feel as though they lost something that it's really hard to come across once, let alone multiple times in a lifetime. But also from this card, I see your frustration. I see why at some point you also wanted to get away from this person, because there was a lot happening around a situation that was meant to be just love. And so all this effort, all these things that you had to do in order to maintain this situation stable, it was just too much. Dealing every day with someone possessive, someone very stubborn, can really take you to exhaustion. And I think that that's exactly where you ended up at some point. And right here with these two cards, we actually are having two opposite energies. You can see with the Death card reversed that we are talking about someone who does not want to let go. They do not want to change. They do not want this situation to end. And they're willing to do anything that it takes in order to keep trying, in order to not give up. Death is major arcana. It's definitely an energy that it's hard to fight against. But regardless of how hard that can be, they're really trying their best in order for this change not to happen. Which means that probably at some point you decided to not talk to them. You decided to completely cut them off your life. And what they did here was keep texting you, trying to call you day and night. And if maybe you blocked them, or in a way you prevented them to contact you, they might have started talking to other people around you in order to get your attention, in order to be able to talk to you again. But they do have this pride that is showing up also with the Four of Pentacles, which often gets externed with their being stubborn. And so if they don't see these results that they're hoping for whenever they're trying to resist this change, then what they do is trying to show you that they are letting go of the situation and that at the end of the day, they don't really need you. The Five of Cups to me in this case is just the attempt from them to let you go, but in a pretty loud way. They want you to know that they're over you. They want you to know that they're fine with the fact that you might not be talking to them, but just by the act of making this thought loud so that you can hear it, to me that means that it's just a show. They're still trying instead to get your attention and overall to communicate with you with the intent to fix things. But we do see that while they're attempting this fake moving on, there is someone new that it's entering their life. We see this Queen of Cups appearing here, which to me, it's really representing a person that wasn't in this picture before. And so going back to that, wanting to be loud and seen in this process of the Five of Cups, they will probably go as far as starting a new relationship so that they have someone to take pictures with and upload them on social medias, or they have someone that people in common, people that you know in common, can talk about in order for you to know that now they have someone new. And the reason why I think so is because these cups that the Queen is bringing are all about emotion, are all talking about an emotional situation that is showing up into the picture, and it definitely cannot be the two of you given what we've seen so far, given the context of the cards and the direction of this reading. But immediately after, we see that we have a confirmation of the fact that they are hiding a lot underneath the surface. With the Two of Pentacles, in fact, they are trying to juggle the truth and the lies. They are hoping to be seen as someone happy, someone in a honeymoon phase where everything is perfect. They want you to see them as though they found a soulmate. But the other pentacle instead is actually containing the truth, which is the fact that this is not what it's really happening. What they're trying to achieve instead is just be seen by you, so that maybe you could feel sad to not have them, and maybe you could contact them, asking maybe to meet, to talk. And with this card right here, Six of Swords reversed, we see their inability to move on. To them, this is way too painful, so much that we see how much they're doing in order to try to have you back. This is a lot of work, but in their head, it's the only way possible, the only way to be happy again and to be happy again with you. And so right here we see that they're not feeling as though they can move on. They're not planning to move on anytime soon. And with these two clarifier cards, we can see what they're trying to do deep inside. They're trying to hide and to bury the real feelings. They're trying to act as though they're strong and they don't need you, they don't need your love. With animals, in fact, we have an energy that it's way more logical than emotional, way more physical than spiritual. They're trying to act as though this is not going to hurt them, and the reason why they want you back is just because they are attracted to you, and because at this point they're used to being in a relationship with you. They're familiar with that and they just want it back. But the truth is that they're trying to hide the emotional side of this, trying to hide the real reason why they want you back, and trying to hide the fact that they are really hurt about the situation. And in order to understand how these energies will evolve, make sure to check out the extended reading link below. And also, if you would like me to make a follow-up reading at the end of the month to see if we have an update on these energies, make sure to comment with a #follow-up down below. From the previous reading, we've seen that you were dealing with someone from the past who was very possessive, always trying to be in control, and that now that they don't have you anymore, they're trying to do everything that it takes in order to fight against this separation. We've seen them starting a new relationship in order to make you jealous, in order to make you feel as though you might miss them and you want them back. And we see that this relationship will in the future actually turn into something even bigger. In fact, we have the Hierophant showing up here. And with the Hierophant, we know that we see often people getting married, or at least moving in together, becoming official so that the whole world knows about this connection. And here we go back a little bit to the fact that they want people to see them together, and better, they want you to see them with this new person. And they're really trying their best in order to make you believe the whole thing. They don't want to just see him as someone that is starting something new, that is having fun with someone else, but they want you to see them as someone who's not going to be available, in the hope that that thought and that feeling will really take you closer to them. And so right immediately here we see this evolution, which is becoming a little dangerous, not for you, but for the person that they're with, because this other person doesn't even know what is really happening, and they don't care about it. They're not afraid to hurt their feelings, to break their heart. They're just fully going for this because they have you as their goal. They have this tunnel vision and they don't see anyone else around them, which is definitely not a good behavior. And we see, in fact, that as soon as this energy shows up, right after, instead we see the Six of Cups, which always talks about looking back, thinking about people from the past, thinking about situations from the past. And so right in this picture, you can see them, instead of looking forward, looking at their new partner, whenever they can, whenever they are not seen, they turn back and they look at you. They try to find information about you. They try to see what you're up to. And overall, in their head, they go back to those memories, reliving the moment where you met, the first kiss, the first time you went out, the first trip you took together. There's a whole lot of thinking and imagining here that it's happening. And with the Six of Cups, we do have a energy that is a transition in between two environments, but at the same time, this energy can greatly impact what's coming next. Especially for what we see here with the Seven of Swords, we see that this situation is actually becoming very troubled. The Seven of Swords, it's telling us that this person very soon will have to start hiding certain things that this other partner that they're with is actually starting to find out. And so we were saying that the Six of Cups might start making them do things that will show their true self to the person that they're with. And so we slowly see this situation deteriorating, and we slowly see also this other person becoming aware of what is happening, which is really telling me that at some point this might stop. This connection that they started might just end, whether it is for a short amount of time or long term. We see them not investing their energy into this anymore, but instead, with the Page of Swords, just completely focus on you. We were saying earlier with the Six of Cups, them trying to find out general things about you, but with the Page of Swords, we have the same energy multiplied by 100. You see right here that they're trying to find information, they're trying to see what you're up to. This will be the time when they're going to plan their comeback. They're going to start thinking about how to approach you, and mainly because after all of this work that they have done, they're not seeing those results. They're not seeing you buying it. They're not seeing you contacting them and missing them. And so this is a pretty desperate time for them, and what they want to do is initiate that conversation and make that situation happen. The one where you actually can talk again and discuss things. And here we see it with the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands always talks about messaging back and forth, which is telling us that you will answer their messages. You will try to engage in some sort of conversation. And from what we said from the reading, it was that maybe you blocked them at some point, you really cut them out, and possibly what happened afterwards was that they became even more aggressive in trying to communicate with you. And so now, instead they're coming back again, you're thinking that the best thing to do might be to allow a little bit of that communication so that you don't have to go back to what happened before instead. And so right here we see you guys talking, and they will act the same way they always acted when we seen the Four of Pentacles down there. Still very stubborn, very hard to communicate to the point that you're thinking, why do you even want to talk to me? We're not really discussing about anything in particular. You're just repeating things that you said before. What is the point of this? And eventually they will tell you that the point of this was to maybe explore the possibility to go back together and start all over. But I don't see you taking that chance with them. We see the Ace of Cups reversed. We usually know that with this card, we have a new start, an emotional new beginning, getting to know someone, starting to trust someone. But that trust is just not going to be there after all that has happened. And so this cup is showing up reversed. Even if you're thinking about it, even if maybe there is a possibility in your head that you might explore this scenario, eventually it seems as though you will realize that it's not something that is going to make you happy in the long run. And so we see with the Ace of Cups reversed that you will not go for this. And these are the energies that we see so far. And keep in mind that if you want me to do a follow-up reading at the end of the month to see what new energies might have come in, make sure to leave a comment, #-follow-up down below.